Hello, and on today's episode of Walking with the Chosen, these are my lessons I've learned from the Chosen, and I like to bring in my trusty journal where I keep all my notes when I'm thinking about the Chosen and when I'm doing my Bible study. And I wasn't sure at first how to tie this particular journal entry into the Chosen, but then I realized that the Chosen really does connect the pieces for me in a way that I didn't think about before. So, what the topic is tonight is I realize that Jesus is there for me in all the little things. And as I've told you before, I've tried to help people who are newer believers. They just came to Jesus or they're still learning about Jesus. Maybe they're still watching The Chosen and they want to know more about how to live their life. And that's where this journal entry, I think, comes into play. So, what I was talking about, this is right after the first of the year when I wrote this one. And it starts off with Jesus is there for us always. And I think that we take that for granted and miss the many blessings he wants to bestow upon us. I just finished reading a daily devotional in my Abide app, and the reader said that we should jot down ways that Jesus has shown up for us in unconventional, unexpected, and impossible for me ways that Jesus has rescued me. Then the next time problems seem too large to solve, read the list and trust in his watchful eye. And a few years ago, a really good friend of mine, an elderly gentleman who just passed away a couple months ago, Donald P., somebody that we all love, and I've interviewed him before on the show. You can go back and watch the miracle story about Sue and Donald P. But he had said to me that anytime he couldn't find something, like if he lost his keys or misplaced his phone, he would just say a prayer to Jesus and say, "Help me find it." And that stood out to me at the time because I was still a very early on Christian. And I liked his story. I'm like, okay, well, I wonder if I can do that. Maybe God just listens to Donald P because he's been walking with Jesus for so long. And I decided to try it out for myself. And the next time I lost something, I just said, Jesus, can you help me find this thing? And I can't tell you how many times I have done that in my lifetime now in the last couple of years. I have just, if I lose all my keys, for instance, which I don't think I really lost my keys, my necklace. So that's a good example. The other day, I was looking for my other necklace that I like to wear. It says Yahweh on it. And I could not find it. I'm like, I know I had it. I looked throughout my jewelry box and I looked all over my dresser. And I'm like, Jesus, I just need your help. I really want to find this necklace. Please help me find it. And within a few seconds, it just like magically appeared. It was on my dresser, but it was blending in. I just couldn't even see it. And it's funny how it like just stood out to me all of a sudden. And I've also asked for prayers when I struggle with maybe a home project and I don't have the strength that I need to perform the task. And the example I put here in my journal was when I was working, I bought this condo back in 2021 and it was still decorated from the 1980s with red carpeting and wallpaper, and it was crazy. And so I have worked on getting this all updated, mainly on my own, but I did hire a few people to do different jobs. And this particular job, I thought, oh, I can handle this. I was replacing the faucet on my kitchen sink, and then I was going to install a reverse osmosis. And when I started working on the sink, I'm a bigger gal, I'm overweight. And on the sink, there's a divider on the cabinet that you have, that helps support everything. So I had to squeeze myself between the wall or the edge of the cabinet and this little divider. Then I have to climb on my back, and I have back issues. And so I had to figure out a way to like level myself up, and I was putting towels down and everything. So I'm up, looking up underneath of this cabinet, and I managed to like I found a tool that would help. I'm trying to get this thing to unscrew, and it just was so stubborn. And I'm thinking, what does it take for me to get this done? And I probably worked on this for a good 45 minutes trying to get everything unscrewed so I could pull this stupid faucet off. And finally, I thought, well, I wonder what would happen if I asked Jesus for this. So, I finally just said, God, I need your help. I can't do this by myself. I need your strength in me to make this thing get unscrewed so I can pull this sink apart or pull this faucet off. And even with all my years of weightlifting, it didn't help. But I just said, lend me your strength. And wouldn't you know it, somehow the nut started to loosen and I was able to remove it. Thank you, Lord. I mean, things like that. It's just incredible, the little things that He will answer for us. And another example is in my day job. So I'm a software engineer, which means I code on computers. And I get stuck. Sometimes I just cannot understand the logic for the life of me. Like, how am I going to make this thing work? Or maybe I'm working with something brand new and I haven't worked with this particular code before. And I'm just like, I have a deadline. I got to hit this deadline. How am I going to get all this done? Again, I just say, God, I need your help. You're going to have to help me get through this so I can hit my 3 p.m. deadline today. I had to ask for his help on Monday for that very thing. Or no, it was yesterday. And yesterday I missed my deadline by 15 minutes, but I still got my work done. And it's like, sometimes I wish God would give me a little bit more of a buffer instead of bring me right to the last minute to check in my code and be like, I'm done. But that's just how it is. Sometimes God He likes to hold me there to the final second. And I know it. It's in my mind the whole time. Like, I've already prayed for this. I've already asked God to help me with it. And I know He's going to help me. He does every single time. So whether I need His physical strength to help me do something, or maybe I'm trying to hold something up because I need to work on a wall and I'm trying to hang up my curtains, and I'm like, it keeps falling down. That's happened before. I'm like, God, I don't have a second person here. I need somebody to help me. And somehow, all of a sudden, everything just goes into place. I don't understand it. I I don't try to understand God. I just trust Him, and that is so important. So, how does this all tie back into The Chosen? I'm glad you asked. So, if you think back about all the different episodes, we know that Mary struggled and she went away, I think in season 2, and the other disciples brought her back in, and she's like, I'm so sorry. And then she realizes that she needs the words. She needs, which, Jesus is the word. She needs the words to kind of help her keep moving forward with her life. And then we see little James before, I think that's in season 3, episode 2, when he's sent out and they're all going, the apostles now, they're all going to go out and do what they need to do. And Jesus talks to little James about how is he going to go out and heal people when he himself isn't healed yet. And he trusts Jesus and in the end of that conversation. But first he came to Jesus to have that conversation. Like, how am I going to do this on my own, Lord? And he gave him the answer. Nathaniel, in that same episode, he's like, did something happen? Was there some meeting that I missed? And, everybody always comes to Jesus. Whenever the disciples don't know what to do, what do they say? Well, let's ask Jesus what to do. He will tell us. It's always up to Jesus. So, my point is that The Chosen shows us in all of the different episodes, anytime you're struggling, like you don't have the right answer to the question, or you have a problem you don't know how to solve, you should always go to Jesus and ask Him to help you. He is so good, and I just love the way that He's helped me with my job, with little projects around the house, helped me find things that I've lost. And trust me, I have lost some things that I thought I would never find again. And I just kept praying to Him, and somehow, might take a day, but that thing shows up. And I don't think it's ever been over 24 hours. I think I've always found things that same day, maybe within an hour, and it just blows my mind every single time. But if you're a newer Christian, or maybe you're not even quite a believer yet, like you watch The Chosen and you really like the show and you're still trying to understand it, put your faith in Jesus and watch what He will do for you. So the next time that you're struggling and you have questions and you don't know how to answer them, or you need help with a physical task, or you need the strength to get through a situation, you just don't know how you're going to get through it, reach out to Jesus by praying to Him. Just ask for His help. And it doesn't have to be some big fancy prayer. It just needs to come from your heart and be honest. Like, Lord, I don't know how to do my job today, or I don't know how I'm going to get through the sad period I'm going through, or I don't know how I'm going to face this person after they betrayed me. Whatever it is, he's already gone through it in his lifetime and he knows how to help us. So trust him and let him lead you with your life. I hope you find this episode helpful. And if you do, please make sure to like and subscribe. And I can't wait to talk to you all more when I come back with more Walking with the Chosen. Until then, have a good evening.